Give me an example. What project, if you don't mind sharing? So changing your management programs? Yep. Okay. What was another good example of a project that's just starting and your folks are kind of on that left-hand side? Okay, so they're kind of in that skepticism. So they know about it, right? They're starting to learn it now, but you're getting some reaction, which is good, They're starting to engage. Now, my other assumption is for folks who are a little bit more in that kind of testing area, I'm learning how to do it. I'm guessing you're either in training or training has recently ended, and those changes are coming to life now. Is that a fair assumption? Who kind of put it more towards the right-hand side? Good. And is that the lean work that you're doing?
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. And this is important, guys. So at the end of today, we're going to talk about measurement, and we're going to refer back to these charts again and again. This is my grounding chart. If there's one thing I try to understand is where are people in this curve, and are they where I would expect them to be? There should be a correlation, right? You're going to be on the left-hand side earlier on in the project. You're going to be on the left-hand side if you're not highly involved on the project, and it's sort of happening to you. If you're leading the project, if we go to the leaders one up here, the Venn diagram looks, or the scatter plot looks similar, but there's still a little bit more on the right-hand side. And yesterday we talked about the marathon effect, right? Where a lot of times leaders can sort of be out there in the front, let's make that acquisition, right? And they've moved into acceptance much earlier because they're ahead of that, right? They started the race long before it was even announced to the organization. So that's pretty typical. I am curious, for those folks on the leaderboard who put them a little bit more to the left, give me an example of where your leader's a little bit more to the left and what type of project. Okay, I'm going to make some assumptions. I'm not going to pick, I'm going to make you guys tell me who put on the left, but enough people put on the left, so let's make some assumptions. Are these leaders who aren't in charge, but they're kind of, it's being done to them? Is that a fair assumption? Is that how you guys looked at it? Ah, okay, so perhaps you slid back down. Is that, yep, and that can absolutely happen, right? So you have a great idea. You want to implement something new, and it's not going the way you want it to go. Do you mind just giving a quick synopsis on the work?
We went to a lean mapping event with our benefits department, and I thought it was a great event. We identified a fantastic way forward, but adoption has not happened the way I envisioned it happening.
Yeah.
And I think that they think that they are adopting, but I didn't set the foundation strong enough that we're actually able to tell if we're adopting. I know we're not, but I can't blame them.
Yeah. You're going to enjoy the last section of today when you think about how to measure, because it's important to know, right? What are those criteria, right, by which you can define success early on? Fantastic. So that's a great example of you can, even as a leader, right, or people too, you can slide down that curve as you individually are going through it. We teach a course called Leading Through Change, right? And if you're a manager or a leader in the organization, it's tough because you're going through the same cycle. Right? Maybe you're a step ahead of it because you have more information and you're closer to it and you're more involved, but either way you're going through the same emotions, so it's tough, right? When then you have other people looking to you when you're going through your own change curve. So we do this exercise on purpose, one, because we're gonna talk about it kind of throughout today's course, but two, it's important to understand the cycles. Folks can kind of go back and forth. Different people will kind of go through it at different times, but truly understanding where folks are and having a plan. How do you move your people through this curve, right? Not accidentally. If it happens accidentally, it's going to take longer and it perhaps might have deeper impact. But how do you purposely move them through, right? By bringing information to them, engaging them in the process, involving